Hey there, benefit auctioneers and aspiring benefit auctioneers. I'm Reggie Rivers with a Gala team, and this video is about the reality that a benefit auction audience is different from the audience in most auctions. So I used to play football. I played for the Denver Broncos for 6 years, and when I was a football player, I knew I could go and hit the guy across from me as hard as I can. If I'm trying to block him or trying to tackle him, trying to do anything, I can hit him as hard as I can. I'm a professional and he's a professional. The reality is, when I'm going to block somebody and I'm running full speed into him, I don't anticipate that I'm going to hurt him. I think that he's professional. His body is built up. He's trained a lot. He's prepared to be hit. And so when I go hit him, I just think I'm going to block him and try to stop him from tackling the running back who's coming behind me. I don't think I'm going to hurt him. And so I go full speed into him. He goes full speed into me. If one of us gets hurt, it's okay, because we both recognize we both signed up for this. We both recognize that there's a possibility that we could get hurt, but we don't anticipate that we're going to get hurt all the time. And so that's the reality on the football field. But off the football field, I knew I can't go running into people full speed. I can't go be in line at Target and run into someone full speed and knock them out of the way so I can take their place in line. I can't, if I'm wrestling with my son, I can't use all of my force with my son. I understand that there's a differential here. I have a lot more power than the other people do, and they didn't sign up for this. They're not trained the way that I'm trained. They're not prepared to take a hit the way I'm prepared to take a hit. So the point of all this is that auctioneering is very much the same thing. If you do cattle auctioneering or auto auctioneering or storage locker auctioneering or any of the other many types of auctioneering, you are largely talking to professional bidders. You're a professional bid caller. They are professional bidders. You can hit them full speed and full force with your craft and your technique, and they can handle it because they're professional listeners. They understand what they're listening for. They understand how to bid. They understand where the action is. They understand whether they've won or not won. They understand whether they're ahead or not ahead. You can go full force at them when you're in the sale barn at the cattle auction, when you're on the auction block at the auto auction. You can go full bore. At a benefit auction, it's not the same. It's like being a football player who's now a target. It's not the same. You can't go full speed against this amateur audience. These are not professional listeners. These people are socializing. They're drinking. Some people are there to bid. Some people are there just to socialize. It's not like the sale barn where pretty much everybody who's in that room is there for one purpose, and that is to bid on the cattle that's up for sale. And so the environment is different. The noise level is different. And so you have to modulate yourself to make sure that you're communicating effectively with that audience in that room. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do an auction chant. I personally don't do an auction chant, and the auctioneers that we work with typically don't use an auction chant. But I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I just think that you have to have the ability to slow it down a little bit and to not stay in it for so long. If you're in it, 5.25, 5.5, 5.75, you're going and going and going, and then you have the ability every 10 or 15 seconds just to step out of it and talk in a normal voice and maybe make a comment about something or maybe make a joke or whatever it is, and then get back into it. I've seen benefit auctioneers who do that very effectively, and I think that when your chant's okay, you just have to recognize that this audience is not a professional listening audience. They're not professional bidders, so your chant has to change if you want to be effective with them.